Yo, what's up there guys, it's Immersive Game 83 and thank you very much for stopping by. Today we're going to be jumping back into Gravity Sketch, checking out the build, and also got some great stuff to show you. We are further in, getting closer to completion, and I've got a lot of stuff to show you regarding progress for it. So without further ado, we'll just wait for Gravity Sketch to load up. So I've still got to work on the interior of the Corvega, but overall the actual project's coming along very nicely. But I wanted to show you guys what it looks like with a little bit of paint. It's very flat looking at the moment, the colours, and you know, you can see that the imperfections are quite profound, and there's a couple of little bits which I missed as well, which I didn't see at the time. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a slightly different coloration there between this panel and that panel. I did miss that. I've actually uploaded this, and I've uploaded it as a test render to Sketch VR, and Sketch VR is an online asset place where you can upload and distribute, and if you're good enough you can charge for your work as well. Obviously I'm not at that point there, but yeah, I just wanted to touch over that, and also I wanted to show you guys what the actual final render looks like in Sketch VR, and it, to say the least, it looks absolutely beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is kick on my display, and hopefully this will be coming across so you should be able to see. Okay, so this is what it actually looks like inside Sketchfab. It allows you to import and add a load of shine, and you know, you can really bring out the chrome detail and add a little bit of, you know, fade and blur and shadows, and you know, overall the model is coming on really nice, and yeah, I'm super happy with it. I didn't realize how nice it would come out, and you know, that piece I was talking about a moment ago is definitely a lot more pronounced now. Hopefully you're able to see this, and hopefully it's coming across there. So you know, I'm not sure if that did come across there, but the actual image itself is coming out really nice. Super happy with how it looks, and yeah, it's really inspired me actually. And now, since finding a way to render objects correctly, and you know, in a nice environment like this, it's inspired me to start some more, and I just want to work on and make loads of things and just improve my skill really, and try and get better. I mean, I'm hopefully that's coming across in the actual, you know, and you did get to see that there. So yeah, I'm super happy with how that's going at the moment, and that's also added on to another thing as well, which is really wanting to make me improve again. There's this comment that I got. I did actually upload this earlier on to the Oculus Reddit, and it went down pretty well on there, but I got a comment saying about Surface Painter, and they were saying on there that Surface Painter does have support for Oculus Rift, even though I had a little look, and you know, there were comment threads saying otherwise. There was things on here saying, I'd read an article about googling that it's got a VR mode, and they said not at this point. They were internal experiments, which got me all a bit like thinking that it, you know, wasn't really working, or wasn't put in there, you know, because that's what the developer said. But you may call me brother now has put a comment saying he saw that, but on Oculus it works. So with Revive that should work. So you know, if anyone can confirm that, that would be absolutely amazing. That would be super awesome, because I'm tempted to check this out, but it's going to be a little bit of time before I can do it though, because Substance Painter, even at the moment, it's like 120 quid, man, for that software, and that's pretty steep. You know, I'm sure it's amazing, and looking at the video on here, this is, you know, it looks cool. I mean, I'm guessing that's what was utilized for, you know, Robo Recall. You can see that there. You can see Wildlands, you know, Ghost Recon, and loads of other awesome games. And you know, like, I think it's professional grade software, so that's why it's expensive. And but if it's going to give you those sorts of details that you can get in, then it's going to be an investment, because this is something that I enjoy and something that I do want to actually continue getting into, and if I can make assets in VR, not for commercial reasoning, but just because I love it, like I love making things and being able to see them and stand next to them and sit in them, and if I can import all this stuff and actually just check it out, I'm not a very good developer at all. I've not, but if I can do this stuff in VR, like Modbox is very accessible, and if the accessibility is there, I think the future is very, very bright, because you got people that have come from like blue collar backgrounds, and people that have sort of grown up, doing things that are not necessarily based on their computing skills or their software knowledge, but this enables a lot more people to be creative, and that's something that's just amazing to think about, because the world's changing, and whether we like it or not, like a lot more of the jobs in the world are becoming automated. Like there's autonomous farms, there's like intelligent artificial intelligence that are going to be replacing a lot of jobs. So if virtual reality can open the door to people get into other industries, that they can, there's very creative people that can paint a masterpiece, but you put them in front of something like ZBrush and they're like, what the fuck's going on? So it's extraordinary, really, to think that virtual reality enables us to, as someone that can make a beautiful vase with their hands, like it's almost going back to working with your hands. So things on a realistic scale in a virtual space, and if I can do that in Substance Painter, it seems like a really good investment, to be honest, just to improve. And if I can change things and make them look amazing like that, but in the actual, oh, there we go, got Dennis Richards in there. How we going, mate? He's on time for once. Oh, it's always good, man. Always good to see you on here, Den. You see, yeah, super impressive software, and it looks pretty cool. I saw there's a video on YouTube actually that covers Substance Painter with VR, and it was just like a tech demo more than anything, but it showed them working on looked like a short circuit robot. It was the one from the Oculus demo, and overall it looked relatively easy to get into and to actually start working on. But so that's got me really interested in looking at working on some new stuff. So here we are back in here, and yeah, I just wanted to show you just a couple of things that I am actually working on. So we'll exit back to the startup. I've got like a military concept vehicle, just got a couple of images there, and just a bit of inspiration, and I've just thrown some rough pieces together, really. So this is just a very, very rough start, and when you actually start to actually work on it, I mean, I know that this looks very basic, but this is thrown together in about 20 minutes. So hopefully this is going to be something that I can work on and get up to a pretty good scale as well. This is just like the rough outline, and then when working on your layers, you can always go into that, and then you can add a new layer, and when working with the old one, you can set the transparency right down as well, so you've almost got like a ghost view. And then on your new layer that you're working on, you can just once you're working on that secondary layer, you can then start overlaying over the top of it, and it's really, really awesome. One thing that I always usually forget is to mirror. So once you've got your lines down as well, you can just start laying stuff down over the top and using just your reference bits on here. It's just super cool. And if you guys have got anything, any really interesting looking stuff, that I suppose mainly what I'm looking for is stuff that's mechanical, so spaceships, vehicles, just things that even like Metal Gear Solid, mechs, tanks, anything like that, like a cool looking futuristic vehicle, anything really. So that's the sort of thing that I'm going to be working on very, very soon. But yeah, I just wanted to go over a couple of bits really and check out some cool stuff. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Substance Painter. Have you had a chance to check out that? Have you got any information on that? You know, I'd love to see if anyone actually can confirm that it is working inside virtual reality. That'd be very, very awesome to confirm that. But yeah, just like even in this virtual space, you can kind of get a rough idea for scale. And at the moment, you can see in reference to a controller how big that is. But the good thing about this software is you can scale it up so it's like real size, and it looks super imposing when it's in front of you like that. And it actually like comes together a lot more when it's like that sort of size. And yeah, that would be awesome. So if I stand up now, you can see that vehicle is going to be like 10 foot tall, and everything's changeable as well. So if you're laying down lines and you're not happy with it, you think, oh, that doesn't really fit there, I'll change the angle a little bit, you know. And you can play around with stuff, and while you're laying down the foundation stones, like, you can move around stuff. And you know, it doesn't have to be beautiful at this point, it's just, you know, laying out your frame really. So it's going to be like almost like a van. It's going to be like a van, and I imagine there's going to be like a turret on top of here as well. So sort of similar start front end to that, and the back end probably more similar to that, you know. Like, but yeah, so, but you know, I'm going to just use inspirational pieces, and once I've got a frame, I'm going to clear them out and just make it my own and start working on stuff there as well. I think that front could be a bit wider as well, to be honest. So you know, just change it out a little bit and just see what works for you. And that's the beauty of this stuff, you know, you can move it around freely and it mirrors. So if you're working on one piece, you can work on the next side as well. And everything that's in there, you can change the size of the lines as well. You can you know, literally move everything around, and it's really, really cool. Yeah, that looks fucking mean. And it ain't got to be perfect at this point either, you know. It's just a case of moving stuff around and throwing lines down. Yeah, man. So yeah, there's going to be like a lot of cool stuff. Maybe like a ladder. Probably will need a ladder, to be honest. I mean, this is going to be huge. We'll set it down on the deck. There we go. Like that. Probably going to need a ladder to get inside there, you know. And once you are inside, you know, you kind of get a feel of what the inside's going to look like as well. It's probably, you know, going to be like 4 seats either side, with like a slot over here. So, you know, you can imagine that, you know, there'll be some sort of, let's turn that down a little bit, and just making sure that I'm still in the first layer. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go, active layer. Alright, so yeah, like we can kind of just imagine, you know, this is the doorway into the back as well. So it'll probably be from about this point on. I can imagine like two or maybe 4 seats in the front, maybe like a little bit of a, you know, sort of like a slat, you know, like a window here. This is all walled off here, and then, you know, we'll have like some seats over here as well. So we'll have like, oh, that looks tiny. You can always roll back the clock there as well. So, you know, maybe even make them into more straight lines like that. And then you can just like copy them, move them over, and then we can have like headrest over here, and Just setting out some realistic sized chairs, and then you can imagine them, you know, like a soldier would sit inside this position here, you know, and then you can get a rough guide for the space of what they're, you know, what they're sitting on. So he's sitting on the seat like this, he's inside the vehicle, and probably be like 6 actually, looking at the spacing. We can always move this back a little bit as well, get a bit more room in there, and we'll shut that off. Yeah, man. So there we go, and you can kind of see now, we've had a little zoom out, laying down rough lines. And the beauty of this is as well, with the rough concept, you can just go in there and you think, yeah, that's looks about right. With your grip button, you can grab the lot, clone them, and then you know, start laying down some more, and then just moving them around accordingly. So that's probably good. And last piece is probably good, and then these pieces here, yeah, like that. Yeah, and yep, like that. Maybe move them over just a little bit more. You can kind of get just a rough sense of, you know, where things should be and things like that. And these lines are all really rough, you know, and I know that, and that's fine. But then, you know, just after a couple of minutes, really, you can see that now it's got a bit of an interior, and we can see where the guys are going to be sitting at. This is pretty cool shit, you know, and this is just thinking about it for a minute, and just putting your own spin on it, you know. That should have mirrored it, so they were fine there. Now we've got seats either side. We can adjust it accordingly, move them in, because that looks like it's poking out the side. They'll be flush on the wall. But yeah, you know, once you kind of get your rough ideas, once the proper lines are laid down as well, you can start skinning stuff as well. So if we just change the colour a sec on that, you know, you can have something that's a solid form very, very quickly, and before you know it, you know, you've you know what I mean? It's that easy just to get something down, and then you can tweak it a little bit and always undo what you've got there. And it's literally that easy to throw stuff together, and if it don't quite fit, you can sometimes make the model bigger. It just kind of gives you an idea of the scale as well. And then when you do get back inside, you can kind of see how things kind of come together, you know. Oh, so yeah, that's just so actually being inside it, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm gonna go and undo some of these lines, because obviously I don't want them. There we go. That's probably a good point to save that, just as a underneath reference sketch. Imagine some nice big X suspension in there as well. Just double check that. And colour, boom. Yeah. Oh, wrong tool. So, you know, I can imagine some like proper massive, like big old X suspension going through there. Boom, like that. Yeah. Some curly springs and that. We have a bit of a floor coming across maybe here. Probably some step coming out. I'll retrace that line. With a little ladder. We'll have a ladder on one of these sides as well. Turn the mirror off. and then we'll have a ladder on, probably the right. And then, you know, before you know it, like, you've thrown something together really, really quickly. Very cool. Probably some sort of turret on here as well, so it's like a little hatch maybe. And then we'll have like a main gun on here. I don't really know what, but some sort of long thing here with like a big panel on the front. Some massive. I don't know. You get the idea anyway. So yeah, we'll just have a little save on that, and yeah, we'll go to a new sketch. So yeah, if you guys are interested, feel free to send me some pictures. This is just, you know, something that I'd love to hear, you know, what your views are, and like, if there's anything mechanical you can think of. Definitely interested in checking out some bits. Let's have a look on here. So, oh, there we go. We've got Den again. Always a pleasure, brother. Seeing some of your creative work. Oh, cheers, man. Says, got skills. I'd like to do some creative stuff. Gravity Sketch. I'll tell you what, mate. Gravity Sketch is easy to pick up, and in my opinion, you know, it probably take you an hour just to sort of like find your feet and that. But as soon as you found your feet, you'll be throwing things together very easy. There's some really good stuff on there as well. So you know, not just you know, I don't really want to talk down other people's you know, work and that as well, because some of these people are fucking incredible, absolutely incredible at doing that. So let's have a little look at the minute. So if I close out there, have a little look on YouTube. So if I just type in there Gravity Sketch Tank, there's this one guy, he's sick. Yeah, Wodgetech Fuse. Yeah, this geezer here, man. Oh, I don't want to play too much of his video, do you know what I mean? But if I show you the start, have a little look at that. He's literally thrown that together very quickly, and he's put that, I think he's put it in Cinema 4D, to be honest, or something like that, just to put some textures on it, you know, make it look a little bit more weathered. But the actual model itself, you know, when he's working on it, it's not that detailed. You know, you can flick through it, and he's doing similar stuff here. You know, this is literally just what we were doing a minute ago. You know, it's not. So it's probably worth having a look at this. You know, this one on here. It shows you the tools. There's a tutorial as well from the guys at Gravity Sketch, and you know, he will that is worth looking at. There's another really good one as well. So if we have a little look at Gravity Sketch, there's a few other ones that are done by this bloke as well. This one's, yeah, he did this one, this Wodgetech Fuse. Check this one out. So if we just have a little look at the first thing here, see that? So he's put that in 4D software. That was built with Gravity Sketch as well, and you know, he's applied some bits on it, and it looks mint. Absolutely sick. And you know, you can slow down the videos as well. If you're wondering how he did something, you can always go in there and you know, turn the speed down and watch it slower and things like that. Absolutely amazing. So definitely those two are worth a look. There's another one as well. Where are we? Yeah, U-Wing. Check this out as well. So the geezer on here goes through, and he's built this. He's built the whole thing, and then he puts it in. I think this one's, yeah, look, it says at the top Cinema 4D at the top. And he's just dragging textures on it, you know, and retexturing it, colouring it in how he wants it. And that sort of was the inspiration really for trying to get you know, something working like that, and it's absolutely awesome. Super excited. And there's his render, there's his extra bits on there, and overall that's a sick model. Do you know what I mean? He's threw that together in a day probably, you know, and workflow was super quick, everything was really really cool. Yeah man, definitely awesome, definitely awesome. So that was kind of what made me search out and find, Sketchfab. I'd look into ways of applying different effects to stuff, and Sketchfab's a really really cool way of making your models look really nice. You can apply stupid amounts of filters and processing, and change the opacity, and add blurring and that, and I've made the glass all like see through, and everything looks nice. So yeah, that's probably going to be it. It's a nice and short stream, to be honest, for this one. I'm going to be back on in a bit. I'm going to be working on probably not going to be working on this one just for a little while. I want to get a bit of a better foundation. Also wanted to have a little look at there's this Dodge Challenger. It's like 1970. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, there's a soft top version of this, like that, but I want to make it like proper beastly. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of what I want to work on. I don't think it'll be too difficult, and I think the lines, like that, I could see this not being too much trouble to put together. Put some proper fat boy wheels on it, make it look decent, and because it's open top as well, I haven't got to worry so much about rigging movable doors or anything like that. Not that I would at this point anyway, but I think for something like Modbox, this will probably be a nice vehicle to actually try and start on. But yeah, if you've got anything, or that you think would be pretty cool, let me know down in the old comments. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you've seen a bit of progress on the Corvega Atomic V8. And now, hopefully be at the point of getting the interior done on that soon, which should be nice. Fix out some of these little errors, clean up the model a little bit, make it look a bit nicer. Yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this one. Hopefully it wasn't too quick for you. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care, guys. Bye bye.